So these are Golden Book magazines from the 1920s, 1925, 1926, and 1928. They're all in pretty good condition, all things considered. To give you the short answer of what this magazine is, it's like a classy Reader's Digest, full of stories, mostly text. However, the front and the back have tremendously amazing ads because this was a higher budget magazine, and that's what I wanted to show you tonight, and that's why I have 3 out instead of my usual 1. Now, some of the covers are a little torn, so I'm going to try to be careful with it, but I do really think you'll find these fascinating. Starting with this one, when this was first purchased, that was metallic gold paint, and you can still see it has a little shine to it. I really appreciate the cover art, and it tells you some of the authors that are in this, like Guy de Maupassant, Lady Gregory. To tell you the truth, I don't recognize a lot of them, just a few. But what tonight's topic is old advertising, and look at these. I mean, my goodness. Gun sectional bookcases, Wild Web Boston Garter, Vose piano, Walter Baker Company Limited, Cocoa and Chocolate, wow, Walker's, yeah, Baker's Chocolate. Okay, so the first ad I want to show you is this car ad, and this is for the Marmon, defunct car company, and on the surface it's like, that's a cool ad, but what's really cool about it, besides the fact that it's an old car from 1925, is that's a stereo pair. So if you use your stereo lenses, and I have a set, you could actually look at this ad the way it was meant to be seen, and you have a 3-dimensional car ad, and boy do I wish you could see that, because it is truly an amazing thing to find in a 95-year-old magazine. So this is in fact a 3-dimensional, and it's not just 3-dimensional, as you can see, one has motion and one doesn't. And the people kind of blend together. It is really a cool effect. So this is, and I know that there's some subtle differences in the backgrounds, but this was definitely intended to be a 3-dimensional stereo pair ad. So it's very cool. This is Johnston's chocolate, and it looks a lot, the box looks quite a lot like a Whitman sampler, which is pretty cool, and I do like the watercolor drawing. You will find a special agency for Johnston's chocolates in one of the better class stores at your neighborhood. Johnston's is worthy of the sweetest lady in all the world. Simmons. Is this the same company that makes the beauty rest, Simmons? I don't know. But it's a very nice, comfortable chair. The Golden Book magazine of fiction and true stories that will live, edited by Henry Wisham Lanier, and it has the contents here. Has a little opening bit there, and then we have an ad for no one who speaks the English language can afford not to own this book. Now, one volume brings you all of Shakespeare, and it's a Shakespeare book that's tabbed like a dictionary. So, are you enjoying the matchless pleasures and benefits of Shakespeare? Here's a unique opportunity to renew your acquaintance with his immortal writings. In one convenient volume, you may now have the complete works of Shakespeare, one volume instead of many. Genuine India papers, the secret of this marvelous publishing achievement. Paper so finely woven The 1,352 pages are contained in this single slender volume. So, interesting. I wonder, that would be an interesting way to have your Shakespeare. Let's see. These are Swordsman, Lover, Debauchee. These are short stories. And then Stocks for Investment by the investment editor, because it's got regular magazine articles. Here is an ad for William R. Compton Company. Do you know good cloth when you see it? But this is an investment company, and they're using a metaphor. Once again, just appreciate the art and the style, just the manner in which they went about their ads. Millions are neglecting this opportunity to build a fortune. George M. Foreman and Company. Mortgage real estate bonds. G.L. Miller and Company. So this is a higher end magazine, so it's going to have a lot of it's going to be sponsored by a lot of investment companies. And this is also 1925, well before the Great Depression. Well, not well before, but before. More investment companies. And look at this ad for Terryton's or a quarter again. Wow. This cigarette ad with gold metallic paint. Herbert Terryton cigarettes. There's something about them you'll like. I have to admit, the use of the colors, everything makes this a really, really handsome ad. I hate when you're not sure if you have 2 pages or 1. The Golden Book, make your magazine into a book. This, of course, if you were a fan of this magazine, you would want to bind them into this handsome binding here. It's in $2.50 for each binder, and that was quite a lot of money back then. I'm telling you, that was a lot of money. Let's see, Fidelity Mortgage Company. You can still get your benefits through them. Trust Company of Florida, Arnold and Company. Look at all of the investment companies. Goodness gracious! And just think, in 4 years, it would all be gone. In 4 years, the stock market would crash, and so many of these companies would be gone. Something to think about. The Golden Book Magazine Investment Service. It has its own investment service. How to invest $1,000 to $25,000. Let me just tell you, $25,000. That was a well-off person's annual income. That was the annual income of someone who was extremely well off. Let's just say comfortable. $5,000 was more like the average annual income. All of Guy de Maupassant's short stories, now in 1 volume. The Service Bureau for Writers. There's a typewriter, corner your pictures, a photo album. That's a very cool ad right there. Study at home, correspondence schools. Nothing much changes. The online schools of today are the correspondence schools of yesterday. Here's a Master Tales, but it looks like if you want your Zane Grey, you're going to have to get all of the books, because if you mail this coupon, there's like 600,000 Zane Grey titles, and they did not try to bind them all together with India paper. The Old World, the New World Today, all recorded in the $1 Million Encyclopedia Americana. I've seen some of these. You don't see them too often, but you will run into them in thrift stores. Encyclopedia Americanas. Here is a nice color, beautiful, rich color ad for Crane bathroom fixtures. And there's a good picture of a 1925 bathroom. The 2 faucets on the sink. I mean, and that was actually the modern look of a bathroom then. This is always broke, but this is actually after Listerine throat tablets. I guess, back then, instead of staying home from work, it was like push through your work day and numb your throat. Horlicks Original Malted Milk. High school course in 2 years. It's odd to me, but then again, high school was not. My grandfather, he only made it to the 8th grade. I mean, it was not routinely, not everyone got a high school diploma back then. So, parents, a golden opportunity, free business training for boys. Stay Young, with Raymond Leslie Goldman. At all bookstores. Short story writing. Balzac. Yep, some pre-code artwork right there. You would not see this in the next few years. After 1934, pictures like that were censored. Morgan Robertson. Only once in 50 years comes a bargain like this. Another Shakespeare volume. Or is it the same one? H.G. Wells' Outline of History. Read a foreign language site. They're still trying to sell that thing about how you can learn a foreign language overnight or something. You can't. Isn't it formidable, old man, instead of formidable? It's formidable, not formidable. Oh boy. Okay. Kipling's 8,000 pages. They were really big about these classic book sets. To know these men is a liberal education. Bacon, Shakespeare, Galen, Da Vinci, Aristotle, Locke, Newton, Kant, and Emerson. Oh, here we go. Whitman samplers and a beautiful ad at that. Delicious chocolates. Every now and then, you should go to Walgreens or CVS, buy your own box, and eat it by yourself. Repartee. Book Lover's Calendar. The paper is a different kind of paper here. And it's just a calendar. And now we get into the text. And the paper has changed. So it no longer has that slick paper. It's now it's almost like parchment. Good quality paper. Huh? Someone had some things in here. These were placed here 95 years ago. An ad for Tuxedo Tobacco. That's what this is. When someone, I don't know if they're using it for a bookmark or what, but these two clippings have been in this book for 95 years. In between these two pages. This paper has a good sound when you turn the pages. It feels very much like parchment. It's very good, long-lasting paper. And I have to admit, I do like it. And of course, we have two other books to get through. Let's see if there's any other. And let's get back to the tail end of the book here. Okay. Now we have Soft Food Harms Teeth and Gums. Ipana Toothpaste by Bristol Myers. Try Ipana for just 1 month. It's an aid to the dentist, not a substitute for him. Life magazine. I have an old copy of Life from this period with that original logo on it. So, boy, I wish I had it handy. I'll show you one at some point. Kodak cameras, Corona typewriters, White Rose glycerin soap, Heise's glassware, Deegan Tower chimes, Albright toothbrush made of rubber and bristle, Tyco. I wonder if that's the same toy company. Around the World Cruise. Oh, this is the travel ads. All the nice hotel ads. Red Star Line. Hotel Puritan. I love this. I mean, just look at that. Imperial mange medicine for dandruff. Chambers gas range and Fifth Avenue building. So this wraps up the 1925 copy. So let's carefully move this away and move to 1926. Once again, we have what was once a metallic gold paint cover with some beautiful palm trees, a very 20s like picture, and on the back we have looks like the same Chambers range ad, and the back cover may be missing. So oddly enough, the 1925 issue is in much better shape than this one. Here's another ad for the Marmon, but it's not a stereo pair like the other one cleverly was. It's just two pictures of the Marmon in different types. You may argue with me that that was not a stereo pair, but I assure you I looked at it with my viewers and that was in fact a stereo pair. It was just an Easter egg, you could say. Keep in mind it was not unusual to have a stereoscopes in your house back then. Another ad for Ron toothpaste. Here we have Simmons again, quality furniture. A beautiful Valentine's Whitman's chocolate ad. And as you can see, you can still get the same box you can get now, almost identical. Gastrogen tablets for indigestion, pleasant, safe, and effective. When they say pleasant, I wonder what they mean. To relieve heartburn, flatulence, and gas as necessary to overcome this excessive acidity. I wonder what they tasted like. If they were mint. I don't know. Cadillac. Look at the Cadillac ad. And it doesn't even show the car. It just has the logo. She's driving with a collie. And the 90-degree Cadillac. I wish they had a picture of the car, though. Alexander Hamilton Institute. And here we go with all the investment stuff again. There's that beautiful cigarette ad again, slightly different. Like, it is slightly different, isn't it? It is. It is different. Smith Bonds, Fidelity again. And that's why I'm kind of doing all three of these at once, because there may be some redundancies, but there are also some. The Open Road. But I think all three will give you... Oh, it's Sherlock Holmes. The works of Conan Doyle. Nelson's Perpetual Loose Leaf Encyclopedia. The Complete Works of Edgar Allan Poe. Who was the man in the Iron Mask? Who was the man in the Iron Mask? We can talk about that sometime when we do my Versailles collection video. Pre-1926 Atlas. Oscar Wilde in 1 volume. Is that India paper again? There's the Shakespeare book again. New facts about Lincoln. Life of Lincoln, material never before published. There's the Horlicks malted milk again. Do not publish this book, said Mark Twain. Interestingly, Mark Twain was only dead for 15 years when this was printed. So it wouldn't be much different than talking about Jim Henson or even, well, I mean, I think even Jim Henson's been gone longer. It'd be, I mean, like talking about John Ritter. Now we get into, oh, look at that watch. Now we get into the parchment. There's the calendar first. Oh, this paper feels so good to the touch, though. It is like pure parchment. It just is such good quality paper. And here we get to the beautiful card. And isn't it beautiful? Wow. Utterly beautiful. This paper is still silky to the touch. Camel cigarettes. American Radiator Company. Kodak. Chesterfield. Oysters. Cough lozenges. And that covers the 1926 one. So I'm going to set this one aside. And finally, we're going to look at the 1928 issue. There seems to be a picture of, it looks like Marie Antoinette. By Alexandre Dumas, The Queen's Necklace. That is certainly Marie Antoinette then, because that would be the affair of the necklace. Okay, and let's see if the back is intact. And yes, there is. There's a beautiful ad for Lucky Strikes. Once again, the metallic gold paint. Bryant Gas and Heating instead of the Marmon car ad. And there's a General Motors ad. I'm sure General Motors probably had something to do with The Lee of Conshohocken. It's a tire company, I guess, and that's just a really pretty ad. Encyclopedia Britannica making its appearance. Cadillac LaSalle. Once again, we don't see the car. We just see the logo that we recognize already. 1928. 1 year away from the Great Depression. It's simple but great artwork of the 20s. Will you pay 95 cents for famous books that are sold from $2 to $10? $10. What book is $10? That was a lot of money back then. I cannot stress how much money that was. Fanny Hurst. Nelson New Century Library. Look at this busy ad. Become an expert accountant. I'm an expert accountant, but I had to go to school and get a master's degree for it. Photography at home. I'll give you bulldog courage. There's that toothbrush again. The Uncle Sam image that was only about 10 years old. Not exactly, and some people might disagree with that. It was used for the I Want You for the Army around World War I, but the image of Uncle Sam goes way back farther. So that's college humor. Not quite what we have on the internet, but still. The idea of college humor goes way back. Oh, delicious Whitman samplers. That's what I said. If you're having a bad day, go to Walgreens or CVS and buy yourself your own personal box. Take it to work, hide it in your desk, or sit and eat it at home. You deserve it sometimes. Remember, these are made to give to your sweetheart, but they're also made to give to yourself. If you ever are depressed and you want to know how to get happy, talk to me and I will give you tips. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Interestingly, I live very close to his house. This F. Scott and Zelda Fitzgerald house is, you can go see it, and there's Gatsby Road and Zelda Lane and all that, and you can, they've pretty much preserved it from when they lived there, when they lived in Montgomery, Alabama, and he was in the military before they went to New York. I'm a huge F. Scott Fitzgerald, Great Gatsby fan. I've read that book more than once. I really enjoyed it. Looks like there's some good stories in here, to tell you the truth. The Pusher in the Face by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I mean, how many people get to read this? And I've got my own copy. I mean, this is probably a hard to find article. I mean, you could probably find it on the internet, but I like how they have the author's signature. This was a pretty high-class magazine. Has some small text. Zane Grey. Zane Grey was a famous Western writer before Louis L'Amour. He was the first name in Western literature, and I mean, I haven't read Zane Grey since I was a small kid. My dad had a set of Zane Grey books, and he would give me one and say, "Go read it," basically, and enjoy it. And that was, but I have to admit, I found the language a little hard to get to wrap around, and I enjoyed Louis L'Amour a lot more. Um, and then I picked up Louis L'Amour books and really enjoyed reading those. The first Louis L'Amour book I ever read was How the West Was Won, the novelization of the movie. Capybara, like a gigantic guinea pig. I saw one of those the other day in the zoo when I was in North Georgia. The Land of Mystery, Mato Grosso and the Edge of the Unknown Montana. Very cool. There is some good stuff in these books. In case you wonder what I do when I'm having a relaxing day off or a rainy day in, yes, I do pick these up and read and enjoy and get a lot out of these. Central Electric Refrigerator. Two-page full-color camel ad. The most popular cigarette in the United States. Then we get in our travel section. Bromoquinine. No, bromo. This is stomach medicine with some quinine, and they used quinine for everything back then. But it was really the only thing it's good for, besides getting you sick, is curing malaria. Fatima cigarettes. If you ever listen to Dragnet, the radio program was sponsored by Fatima, and that is a very pretty ad. And I think that about wraps this one up too. So, these were old, but still full of interesting stuff, and I really do hope you enjoyed them. So, I hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy your Friday night, and if you're not busy tomorrow night around 8 o'clock, come by here again and hang out, and we'll look at something else. So subscribe if you haven't done so. If you want to leave a comment, I always appreciate reading them, and if you want to give me a thumbs up, that'd be great too. So anyway, there's a little bell icon you can click to if you want to be notified when I make a new video, but spoiler alert, I make them 8 o'clock every night, so if you can set your clock to them. And occasionally I'm a little late, depending on whatever we're doing. So, but I do enjoy hanging out with you, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. So, see you tomorrow.